Alright. What's going on? This is G Funk, and I'm back to do the post-fight Manny Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley, part 2. And yeah, don't be mistaken, that is The Crow playing in the background. And I'm sure you'll understand why I'm playing that. So, I picked Timothy Bradley to win this fight. He doesn't get the win. So, hey, all credit to Manny Pacquiao. He got the win. Let's talk about the fight real quick. Thought it was a good fight. I was very excited for this one. Wanted to see this rematch 2 years ago after the first fight. Thought it should have been an immediate rematch, but hey, didn't happen. So we got it a couple years later. But I thought it was still a pretty good fight. Pretty similar to the first one. I thought Timothy Bradley came out early in the fight and did a lot of good things. He came out and he really did try to knock Manny Pacquiao out like he said he was going to. He just doesn't have the punching power to do it. I thought he did some good work to the body. He landed some good straight right hands, some lead right hands. Countered Pacquiao's jab sometimes and times early in the fight. I thought he did a very good job defensively also in this fight. I think a lot of the punches that a lot of people were giving Pacquiao credit for weren't landing. There were a lot of flurries that Manny Pacquiao he was throwing in this fight that they just weren't landing, like some people thought they were, especially, of course, HBO is going to do what they got to do to push their agenda. But, I remember there was a point late in the second round where Pacquiao threw like a 17-punch combination or something like that, and he missed Bradley with every single one of the punches. Sixth round, he did the same thing, threw like a 14-punch combination. At the end of that round was when Bradley was against the ropes. I didn't think he landed anything there. I believe in the seventh round was when he threw another one of those big flurries like that. That was when he did the most damage, throwing flurries like that at Bradley. I think he landed probably about half of the punches that he had threw at him. Some were landing on the gloves, but he was getting some around the gloves. But yeah, I thought it was a good close fight. I didn't think it was 118-110 like one judge had it. But I think that some people are disappointed in Tim Bradley because of him trying to get the knockout. Honestly, I'm really not disappointed in Bradley going for the knockout. I personally thought he was going to box, but I can understand why he was going for the knockout. I think that it was pretty obvious to me. I'm pretty sure it was obvious to most fans that if this fight went the distance, Pacquiao was going to get the win, regardless if it looked like he won it or if it didn't look like he won it. It was going to go to him. Bradley had to literally kill this guy to get the decision if it went 12. Not even to get the decision. He just literally had to stop the man's heart to get the win, because if it went 12, it wasn't going to happen. But hey, I think Manny Pacquiao did do some good things in this fight. I think that he was more patient early in the fight, which I think helped him out later in the fight, because I do think that this fight was split. I think the early rounds were going to Tim, the later rounds were going to Manny. And I think that Manny Pacquiao did a good job of weathering the storm early, because Bradley was throwing a lot of hard punches at him, and he was countering him and he was catching him early. But he weathered the storm and came on late in the fight. I also think Pacquiao did a good job himself of even though he did get hit with a lot of good clean punches in this fight. I think that he did do a better job of picking off shots with the gloves, and he showed a little bit of defense himself in there. And hats off to the guy, man. He won the fight. I think this is it's a tremendous win for him. Timothy Bradley is a prime undefeated fighter. Pacquiao beats him. This is a big win, man. Let's not play around with it, man. For me, I mean, I was pretty high on Tim Bradley. I mean, I still am. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not one of these, guys that believes everything that Mayweather says. He's brainwashed a lot of boxing fans into thinking that if you lose a fight, then your career's over. I mean, to me, it doesn't mean much. I mean, Manny Pacquiao's gonna go down. He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame when his career is said and done. And I don't think there's any shame in losing to a Hall of Famer or future Hall of Famer, excuse me. And not to mention, I mean, both fights, in my opinion, were close. I mean, I don't think Manny ran away with this one. I think it was a very close fight. But really doesn't matter what I think because he got the win. You know what I'm saying? He got the win, and it looks good on his. I think this win right here looks very, very good on his resume. I can't remember the last time that he beat an undefeated fighter in his prime, but he got the win on Saturday night, and like I said, that's all that counts. One thing I did notice about Bradley, I mean, he said that he hurt his leg again. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Tim Bradley to me seems like an honest guy. I mean, after the first fight, he said, let me review the tape, see if I want it, and. Those are things that a lot of fighters won't say. Those you'd be like, no, there's no doubt about it. I won. I don't even want to think twice about it. But I think he's a pretty honest guy. So I mean, I'll take his word for it. But obviously, he's doing something wrong because every time he fights Pacquiao, he's hurt. Something happens to him. But I don't know. I mean, to me he looked like he got tired early, and I think it was because he was looking for the knockout. He was tired by around the fourth round because I mean I definitely noticed him grunting every time he was throwing a punch, and by the way, thank God that song's over. But he was grunting every time he threw a punch. And, he was really trying to get this guy out of there, man. So, I mean, a lot of you Pacquiao fans who criticized him the first fight for saying all he did was run and things like that. I mean, this man came to fight Saturday night, and he came to knock Manny Pacquiao out, man. So, I mean, you guys got to give him some credit for that. He stood toe-to-toe with Pacquiao, and Pacquiao couldn't knock him out. I believe in the second round, Pacquiao buckled him a little bit. Bradley came back, buckled him in the fourth round. I mean, this was a good fight, man. Thought it was a very good fight. As for the future for these two guys, I mean, I just seen an interview on 78 Sports TV where he was talking with Bradley. I think he said something about how, he wouldn't mind fighting Pacquiao again. I wouldn't mind seeing it again either because it's even at one apiece. Let's see the rubber match. But I mean, I don't know how to say this, but this whole Cold War thing is messing everything up. I mean, if he's not gonna fight Tim Bradley, who's he gonna fight? I mean, I know they said something about Marquez if he gets past Alvarado, but I mean, do we really want to see Pacquiao Marquez 5? I mean, or if Alvarado happens to win that fight, do we want to see Pacquiao fight Alvarado? Or do you want to see him fight Tim Bradley? I mean, for me, I think that a Bradley rematch is the most is what I want to see the most. But I mean, this Cold War's just got to end, man. I mean, we got to get these guys across from most so we can see some different fights, man. I mean, there's not much there for Pacquiao. I mean, Provodnikov is there. I mean, I know we don't want to see him fight Rios again. So, I mean, it's really it's really, really, slim pickings for Manny Pacquiao at this point. There's talks of the Mayweather fight again. I mean, I've always been on board with that fight. This is a big win for me, for Manny Pacquiao. This is a better win than any win that Mayweather's had since he came back. I've already seen some Mayweather fans trying to discredit this win by saying that they never thought that Tim Bradley was any good. You got to be crazy, man. I mean, this guy, beat just about everybody there was to beat at 140 pounds. I mean, he beat an undefeated Lamont Peterson. He beat Devin Alexander at the time, was undefeated, and that was a unification bout. And he moves up, and he fights the guys like Pacquiao and Marquez, and he's got wins over both of them. So I mean, I don't understand where they're coming from, man. I think it's just they're just trying to hate on Manny Pacquiao. I mean, just give the guy his credit, man. He got the win. Just like, when people were saying that Bradley didn't really win the first fight, and then they were running around saying, well, he got the win, so either way you look at it, he lost, so, that's all that counts, man. He's got the win against him, and I think it's a better win than any win Mayweather's had since he came back, including the Canelo fight. I gotta stay consistent, man, on my channel. I said that, I've never really been high on Canelo like a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, I think he's good, but to me he is overrated. I personally think that Tim Bradley's body of work is far better than what Canelo has done. People will say, well, Canelo's bigger, he's stronger. Of course he's bigger and stronger, but that doesn't mean he's better. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has the skills to beat Mayweather. I didn't think that fight was going to be close, and it wasn't. But for me, I think that this is definitely a better win than that Canelo win that Mayweather had. So now we got Mayweather's going to fight Marcos Maidana. Which is going to be a walk in the park for Mayweather. So I'm definitely on board with seeing the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. Let's just get this thing on. Let's get it over with. So we can finally put an end to the big debate, who's better, who would win. Let's just do it, man. Pacquiao. Like I said in my prediction video, Bradley was saying that he thought he lost his killer instinct. For me, I don't think he did lose his killer instinct. I just think that he's fighting guys that are just much better right now. Obviously he's gonna have with his style. He's gonna have problems with guys who can box and guys who can counterpunch like Marquez, like Bradley. So he's not gonna look spectacular against these guys. I just think that's what it is. When he was knocking guys out, when he was fighting, he was brutalizing guys like Diaz and Ricky Hatton and Margarito. These guys, they're not like that. They don't do those sort of things. So to me, he's still the same guy. Don't get me wrong, he still has his problems getting out of the way of right hands. Like I said, Bradley was landing a lot of good, clean right hands in this fight. As well as Marquez. He's consistently landing right hand punches against Pacquiao when they fight. But I just think that it's just got to happen at this point. It just has to. I don't want to hear no more excuses, man. Like I said, to me, this is a big win on Pacquiao's resume. Another thing I want to talk about too before I end this video is people on here just making fun of Manny Pacquiao's mother. Come on, you guys. Let's just knock it off, okay? People saying that she's doing voodoo, or she put voodoo on Tim Bradley. Come on now. Let's just be serious, all right? If you're playing around, okay, fine. But honestly, I think some of these people are taking it serious. They really do think it's serious. Come on, guys. Let's just stop it, all right? The woman was praying for her son. She didn't want to see him get hurt. Obviously, he's been through a lot of wars. He just, 2 fights ago, he was asleep face first on the canvas in that same arena. It was a scary knockout. Don't get me wrong, man. A lot of the women that seen that fight, they were like, wow, is he dead? Of course, the boxing fans, we know that he was going to eventually get up. And he ended up being all right. But, the way he went down, it was scary, and I could see why a mother would be that way over her son, being in the ring again. So, come on, guys, let's just knock it off, man. All right? Let the lady, if she wants to pray over her son, and, if that's her way of protecting him or whatever, then let her do it, man. Let's just knock it off, okay? Really. And, it's like I said, it's just silly. I honestly, I don't even know why this is even a topic. But, some people, they just gotta I don't know, they just gotta do stupid things all the time. Just stop it already, okay? So, anyway, like I said, Pacquiao gets a big win. Where does it go from here? I really don't know. But we should definitely try to push that Mayweather fight again. If you guys are happy with Marcos Maidana, then hey, more power to you. But for me, not buying it. So, anyway, This is G Funk here, and I'm out.